Monterrey, Mexico, and beautiful Estadio BBVA. The fans are ready for this one. It is a perfect evening, just a light breeze as well. The pregame light show going on around the venue currently. Well, this is leg 2 of this two-legged tie here in round 1. The winner will move on to face the Vancouver Whitecaps or Saprissa of Costa Rica. That tie will be contested over the final 2 weeks of February. But going back to last week, it was all Monterey up in Canada, just outside of Toronto in Hamilton. It was a very cold night. Temperatures in the 20 degrees Fahrenheit, very close to 1 or 2 degrees Celsius. It was a chilly, chilly night, and it took Monterrey a little bit of time to warm up in that game. They didn't score until the second half, but it was a beautiful move, finished off by Nelson de Osa, all set up by Oliver Torres and Roberto de la Rosa, who had the assist on the goal, but it was de Osa to score the first goal. Then just 13 minutes later, after head coach Martin Demichelis made a couple of subs, it was Jordi Cortizo whose first touch of the ball was a brilliant free kick to make it 2-0 on the night, and that would register the win for Monterrey up in Canada and give them those 2 crucial away goals coming into this second leg. Now, obviously, Monterrey, they are right in the midst of their Liga MX Clausura portion of the season. And over the weekend, it was a tough 2-1 loss at Juarez. It was Sergio Canales who scored the lone goal in second half stoppage time, but it was a 2-1 loss at the end of the day. And now, as Martin Demichelis has talked about to the media this week, in terms of the league, he said there is no more room for error, and maybe a chance to use this competition as a bit of a springboard into what they do in Liga MX. Last week, going into leg 1, Martin Demichelis made 8 changes to his starting lineup from the previous league match. Tonight, he makes 4 changes from that first leg. We'll show you the lineups in just a little bit, and we will break the news to you now. There still is no Sergio Ramos in the starting lineup. The Spanish World Cup winning defender has signed with Monterrey, unveiled just yesterday and over the weekend, but he is not in the squad here tonight. For this Forge FC side, coming from the Canadian Premier League, entering their 7th season of existence. They have been now in Concacaf Champions Cup, this being their 3rd appearance, and they have taken on 2 other Liga MX sides in their previous 2 appearances. They have not gotten past their first series. In 2022, they were eliminated in the round of 16 against Cruz Azul. Their road leg ended in a 3-1 loss. Just last year against Chivas, they were eliminated in this same round, the first round, but it was a 2-1 loss in that second leg on the road here in Mexico. Now, Bobby Smirniotis, the head coach for Forge, knows, he said, it's a mountain to climb, but we have to take it 1 goal at a time. We have to enjoy and compete. He said, we're not just happy to be here. That was a similar message to what he said to the media and to his team ahead of that first leg last week in Hamilton. Now it is about 60 degrees Fahrenheit warmer here tonight in Mexico, so the conditions will not play a big factor tonight. Last week, the field was basically an ice rink. The players were slipping, it was icy, it was very, very cold. Tonight will be just a little bit more comfortable. They are just getting ready here at Estadio BBVA, a venue that will be hosting World Cup matches in just over a year's time. But right now it hosts Monterrey, who have progressed in all 15 previous Concacaf Champions Cup ties in which they have won the first leg under the current format. There's a caveat to that as well. They did lose at home the last time they hosted the second leg in this competition. That was last year against the Columbus Crew. The players are awaiting in the tunnels, and we are just about set to see them out on the field ahead of first kick tonight. This massive venue is ready to welcome Forge FC for the first ever time. It is their 3rd ever match here in Mexico, and they're hoping for a bit of a different result this time around. Always a great atmosphere here at Estadio BBVA. Forge FC, they played in some big matches before, but this, another one for the Canadian Premier League side as the teams take to the field tonight in Monterrey. Getting you set for round one, leg two of 2025 Concacaf Champions Cup, Monterrey and Forge FC. I'm Josh Eastern, glad to be with you tonight from Estadio BBVA in Monterrey, Mexico. Final handshakes between both sides as we inch a little bit closer to first kick tonight, the first matchup here in leg two in 2025. And a look at tonight's starting lineups. We start with Monterrey for head coach Martin de Michelis. He makes 4 changes from the first leg. Out go Torres, Ambris, De La Rosa, and Alvarado. They all move to the bench. Leading the line tonight will be Germán Berterame. Sergio Canales also enters the starting lineup, along with Jorge Rodriguez, who came off the bench in the first leg. We will also see Jesus Tecatito Corona make the start tonight. So that's what it looks like for Monterrey at home. And as for our officials tonight, from Guatemala, it is Walter Lopez who will have the whistle in the middle. Adonis Carrasco of the Dominican Republic will be tonight's 4th official. The 2 captains for their respective sides, it is Kyle Becker for Forge FC and the experienced center back, the 37-year-old Hector Moreno for Rayados. These teams just saw each other about a week ago up in Canada, one of the longer trips you can take here in CONCACAF. If VAR is needed tonight, Tatiana Guzman will be looking things over. She's from Nicaragua. And for Bobby Smirniotis and Forge FC, no changes tonight to the starting lineup that lost 2-0 against Monterrey in the first leg just last week in Hamilton. Alessandro Hojabrapor will hold down the middle. Tristan Borges created 3 chances in the first leg against Monterrey. He is the reigning Canadian Premier League Player of the Year. And leading the line tonight will be number 9, Brian Wright. Well, Forge knows what stands in front of them tonight, and Martin de Michelis there on the right for Monterrey, hoping for a convincing win here tonight on their home field, trying to bounce back from a defeat in the league just over the weekend. There is the whistle, and we are underway tonight from Estadio BBVA here in Monterrey. It's Forge in orange. It is Monterrey in the blue and white. Well, going into the first leg last week at home, head coach Bobby Smirniotis said, this is the standard, this is the minimum that every year we need to be playing here in this competition. He said, now we need to focus and give ourselves a chance of playing more than 2 games in this competition. But right now, They have to come from 2 goals down. They're already playing from behind here tonight. But he said we just have to take it 1 goal at a time. He said we can't be looking at the result. We just have to score some goals and play the game. As this ball is sent into the back post, it's Luis Cardenas who gets another start in goal. He makes his first save of the game. Now for Monterrey, Mexican teams have only lost 1 of their last 19 home matches against Canadian opponents in this competition. That's 13 wins, a loss, and 5 draws. Although this will be Monterrey's first time featuring in such a matchup. Last time they played a Canadian side in this competition was all the way back in 1975, so almost 50 years ago. And already it's Corona who stands it up right in the middle of the box. It's a header away. And Monterrey, as you'd expect, starting out on the front foot tonight here on their home field. Arteaga tries to lay it off for Corona, but out of play. Martin Demichelis said coming into play tonight, said there's no more room for error, and he mentioned that mostly referring to the Liga MX season and where they stand currently in the current table. Get to that in a moment as Monterrey on the move again. Looking back post, it's Corona into side netting. Tried to take it on the full volley, but could not put it on target. There's head coach Bobby Smirniotis, the only coach that Forge has known in their now 7th season of existence. The 4-time Canadian Premier League champions, their last coming in 2023. They are also 2-time Shield winners back in 2024, just last year, which is why they qualified for this competition, but they have never won a title and a Shield in the same season. We talk about Monterrey and where they are in the Liga MX standings. It has not been the start to the season that they would have hoped. 1 win, 2 losses, 3 draws. That's good for 6 points in 13th place right now in the Liga MX Clausura portion of the season. When you go back to the first leg, a lot of changes were made to the starting lineup from the previous game that Monterrey played. That was their first win of the Clausura portion of the season, a 1-0 home win against Necaxa. But tonight, many of those starters who played against Necaxa in the starting lineup here tonight. Just 4 changes from that first leg where Demichelis made 8. Trying to find some sort of form, some sort of continuity. They'll take a couple of weeks off in this competition should they progress. While the other round 1 fixtures featuring almost exclusively MLS sides and against whoever they were drawn against over the last 2 weeks here of February. Jesus Tecatito Corona. It's Arteaga on the overlap and it's cut back. Deosa played a big part in that first leg. Rodriguez. Quick passing here by Rayados just to keep hold of possession as it's floated over the top again. Corona, 1 touch to settle. Lays it off for Deosa. Deosa trying to split the double team, gets end line, the square ball. And took a deflection towards Jasem Kolelat in goal, but now the flag is up for offside. And possession going back to Forge. Walter Lopez, our referee tonight, very experienced across Concacaf in international competition and here in continental club competition. Direct ball over the top. It's Luis Cardenas, who is there once again to hold on to the ball for Monterrey. Across Liga MX and Concacaf Champions Cup, Cardenas is now played more than 10 games. He's only played double-digit games just 1 time in his career. That was the 2017-2018 season in which he played 31 games for Zacatepec here in Mexico in the lower divisions. Really getting a chance to shine as the #1, while Esteban Andrada has moved to the bench, the experienced Argentine goalkeeper who was part of that title-winning team back in 2021 in this competition for Monterrey. Again, that partnership at center back tonight. Tony Leon, the youngster, just 20 years old. He's only made a handful of appearances in his career for Monterrey, and he turns it over here. Babuli trying to progress down the line, but instead it was Ricardo Chavez stepping in to put it out for a throw. Header keeps this in play. Chavez nods it down. Rodriguez looking for a way out. Here's Chavez again, the right back. It's the same back line that we saw last week for Monterrey in Canada. As it slipped ahead, Bertarame cuts it back. Flicked forward. Herman Bertarame, now pretty much the go-to striker, as this is in for Corona. Corona forces a save out of Colelat. The flag stays down, so it would have counted. It was a well-timed run. Now Akinyoti Johnson. It looked like he was fouled. The whistle comes. It's a free kick back to Forge. They turned it over in a dangerous spot there to the Canadian side. Akinyoti Johnson just getting loose in possession. Iker Fimbres, who got the start last week, the teenager, but this was the chance for Corona. And a good stop there by Colelat. It was a tough angle for Monterrey's number 17. Too much on the pass there from Tristan Borges. It was a bit of a quiet first half for Borges last week. He came to life a little bit more in the second half, but that's when Forge was mostly chasing the game. That's after Bobby Smyrniotis made quite a few substitutions to his squad. A foul here and a free kick. Jevramovic caught there. Ellis not really appreciative of that one. Nice communication there from Monterrey as the ball put out of play. Remember, this is a Monterrey side that made it all the way to the Liguilla final just back in December against Club America. Ended up losing 3-2 on aggregate. Now they're looking for a bit of form in Liga MX at the moment. This could be the spot where they can get some momentum. Borges moves it out wide. A chance for Chouanier. Chouanier coming forward. Now he has to turn it back. Here's Kyle Becker. And turned over in the middle. Monterrey looking for that direct ball through the middle, but nothing doing all the way through for Colelat. The first goal in this game of the utmost importance. A goal for Forge, and it could be game on. A goal for Monterrey, and just becomes that much more difficult here for Forge. Borges battling, he's triple teamed. Chouanier there in support. It's laid off. Jabrapor. Just re-signing with Forge. Jabrapor just before last week's first leg. Had been with the team in preseason, but finally got the deal across the line. Forge are back in Mexico after spending a couple of weeks in Cancun. They played a couple of friendlies, preseason friendlies to get them tuned up, but their league season won't start for probably still a few more weeks at least. Last year the league started in April. Assume it'll start right around the same time here for Forge, so they'll have some time off unless they find a way through here tonight, in which they'll play their round of 16 tie the first couple of weeks of March. Flipped over the top, and now Forge looking forward again, and they find something in the early going, trying to keep this alive. It's a shooting chance. It's off the crossbar. What a chance for Tristan Borges in Forge. The chance presented itself oh so kindly to the reigning Canadian Premier League Player of the Year. And it rings the woodwork, and it stays at 0-0 on the night. Borges was asking for a deflection on that for a corner kick. The referee did not oblige. Again, turned over. Sliding challenge by Rama. He has to get back to his feet quickly, and he does to win possession back for Forge. Ojabrapor. It'll find its way out wide. It's David Chouanière. Ojabrapor back through the middle. Becker. And there's Deosa for Monterrey. Canales, he goes down again, and that's Jevramovic, who just committed the foul on Canales just a few minutes ago. Those two are becoming quick friends. This time a bit more of a wry smile there by the Spaniard Canales. Formerly with Real Betis. Former rivals with now his current teammate, Oliver Torres, who played for Sevilla. Seville derby between Betis and Sevilla. As we saw that shot just a moment ago, ring the woodwork there by Tristan Borges. A great start here for Forge, but they started decently well last week, just couldn't find a finishing product. And on the road here in Monterrey, it becomes just that much more difficult. It's moved out wide again. The overlap from Chavez. Direct ball in. It's Bertarame who was up for it. Now it's Arteaga crashing in. Chouanière forced to dump this out of play for a Monterrey corner kick. First of the game for Rayados. Chance to serve and try to test Colelat in goal. It's an in-swinging ball and headed away quickly by Kyle Becker. Fimbres. Hector Moreno still forward from the corner kick. Now Rodriguez. And turned over. Forge trying to catch Monterrey out here, but a good recovery there by Jorge Rodriguez to help win it back. Corona. Tecatito lays it off. Canales. And Arteaga. That's Arteaga on the overlap. Corona decided not to use him, and he turns it over instead. Finding space through the middle. Ojabrapor able to fend off Rodriguez. Here's Chouanière. Chouanière has tried to beat Arteaga for pace down the line a couple of times already. Has not been successful as this ball comes in. Wright was chasing after it, but Cardenas gets there first. If you're Bobby Smirniotis, you can't be too displeased about this start from your side. 15 minutes in, decent look at goal already, but there haven't been many other looks at goal for Forge, just the one shot. And trying to slide this through the middle, positive first touch, Berterame, and how about the challenge put in by Dan Nimick? His first season with Forge, coming over from Halifax Wanderers, also in the Canadian Premier League. And that was a perfectly timed challenge. Corona delivers another in-swinger, and it's headed away once more. That line of Forge moves just a little bit higher as Monterrey reset. Canales. Quick give and go. Broken up, and Forge trying to break up fields. They're not able to do so through that Monterrey pressure. Canales. Deosa stepping over a few challenges. Deosa wanted to let loose. Scored from outside the box just last week. Arteaga coming forward. He cuts it back. Canales scuffed the shot. And now Forge is sending it upfield. Wright is the only player up there, and it makes it just a little bit difficult. It's a foul, and a yellow card is coming out. Borges is into the book of Walter Lopez. He's not quite in agreement with that decision, but now he'll have a yellow card hanging over his head for the better part of 70 minutes. Arguably Forge's most dangerous attacking player now on a yellow card, and there's no doubt he was late into that challenge. The youngster, the teenager, Iker Fimbres, taken down. So Borges into the book now for Forge. As this free kick is taken, the header's on target, and it's in! Sergio Ramos looking on as Germán Berterame opens the scoring for Monterrey. Martin Demichelis has to like what he sees there, and after that yellow card, the header on target, and it beats Jasem Kolelat. For Berterame, just his second goal of 2025. He scored against Pachuca back on January 25th. And he's coming off a very prolific goal-scoring Apertura portion of the season. And now he has one here in Champions Cup. After Brandon Vasquez, the American international, moved on to Austin FC in Major League Soccer, a little bit more of the scoring onus was put on Berterame. He's yet to really get going here in 2025, but that has to be seen as a promising start here for Berterame and Rayados tonight. Mistouch, this goes out of play, and now Forge, their backs up against the wall. The mountains that overlook this venue here, Estadio BBVA, that's basically the mountain that Forge has to climb now. It is not going to be an easy task, now down 3-0 on aggregate. Cutting this infield, another shot from distance, this time from Mo Babouli. And nothing to test Luis Cardenas in goal. Well, if you're Monterrey, you want this to be a comfortable performance tonight and a comfortable result. And so far, things going in their favor in that facet. Switch of play. Tecatito Corona will track it down. The back heel for Arteaga. Now Deosa getting end line. Deosa cuts it back, bouncing around the box. Fimbres deflected and out for a Monterrey corner kick. Sergio Canales will swing this in for Monterrey, looking to add to this 1-0 advantage on the night. Another stoppage. Walter Lopez just making sure everything is good to go. For this commotion here at the near post, Hector Moreno jockeying for position. Now the in-swinger, and there was a whistle before anything got started. We'll go back the other way. Monterrey controlling things through the opening quarter of this match and looking for more as they look over the top. It's Rama who heads it back to his goalkeeper, Jasem Kolelat. It's a fairly young bench for Forge FC. A couple of teenagers on the bench, a few players that just made their Forge debuts in the first leg. Be interesting to see how Bobby Smirniotis approaches this game, knowing that they really have to throw everything at it now, down 3-0. Flicked through and broken up again. Babuli flicks it down the line. Jevramovic now back in field for Kyle Becker. Out wide, Chouanier into the corner, trying to face up on Arteaga as he slides it infield. Borges the cross, Becker, and hit him in the box, and he couldn't put enough power on it. This shot, though, is fired well out of play. Becker didn't know much about that as it came into his feet in the box. He just couldn't sort himself quick enough to put that shot on target. Chouanier and Borges combining well down this right side. It was a big deflection, and Becker just couldn't really collect that. If he got any sort of positive touch on that, there's a good chance he can slot it in a corner and equalize on the night. This is Forge's 6th game in this competition all time. They have only been shut out twice. It was their first ever match, a 1-0 home loss against Cruz Azul, and then last week here against Monterrey. This comes in for Corona. Coyote Janssen gets it away. The threat, though, still not gone. Arteaga to the end line, forced to turn it back. Canales. Arteaga. Canales through the lines. Laid off for De Osa. Big deflection on the shot. And that was a bit of a heat check there from De Osa as Jassim Kolilat comes away with it. Not a lot of teams can say they've won hardware in every season they've been in existence, but that's something Forge can say. 4-time Canadian Premier League champions, 2-time Shield winners. They have been pretty much the gold standard in the Canadian Premier League since it started. Now another shot from distance, blocked down. Arteaga crashes in to keep the possession alive. Canales just controlling things in the middle for Monterrey. Corona. And De Osa. One of 2 Pachuca players making the move here to Monterrey after winning the title last year with Pachuca against the Columbus Crew. Deflected cross, it's out of play. It sends Jefremovic to the surface. Jefremovic still down. Another in-swinger on the corner kick. Becker there to head it clear. Out wide again. Monterrey in complete control at the moment and looking for a second goal on the evening. Sliding challenge put in, and Becker clears to no one in particular. Coming together in the middle. De Osa will see yellow. First yellow card of the night for Monterrey, 2nd overall. Joins Tristan Borges in Walter Lopez's book. Just a little bit late there on Tristan Borges. Corona picks it up. Some pressure from behind. It comes out wide for Arteaga. Driven right through the middle. Canales feeling some pressure there from Reza Rama. And it flies out of play. Goal kick coming for Forge. Again, it's Corona cutting it in field. Canales keeps it moving off to the far side. Another chance to cross it, comes to the end line. It's another deflection and out of play for a corner kick. This corner's starting to mount now. Number 3 already for Monterrey. Played towards the top of the area. It's Fimbres. He just slipped as he tried to take that shot on. And Forge will look to break yet again. Chouanier gets crunched there in the middle, but he does win a throw-in for Forge. Does leave a Monterrey player down. It looked like Tecatito Corona that was part of that challenge with Ricardo Chavez that was just a little bit shaken up. He's looking to shake that off. Becker being hounded there in the middle. His arm was being pulled. He gets the free kick awarded. Another whistle. Well, Forge have had only a few moments going forward, and it was the one shot in this game from Forge that was the most dangerous moment. Shot off the crossbar. Turned over on the distribution there by Kolelat. And luckily for Kolelat, didn't turn into anything more dangerous. Now Babuli. It's broken up again. Here's Berterame, the goal scorer tonight. Space through the middle. Orange jerseys converged quickly, and again, Forge is looking to break. They might have something out wide here with David Chouanier. Arteaga racing back defensively. Chouanier, a square ball for Borges. Borges couldn't keep it. He was asking for a whistle. It was never coming. Chavez progressing. And again, Monterrey really in no hurry. Have the goal they needed to give them a little bit more cushion here tonight at home. Of course, they have now that 3-0 aggregate advantage. Ball ended up out of play. Corona not able to keep it alive for Rayados. Moved into a wide position yet again, and Monterrey trying to drive forward. Rodriguez. Monterrey coming through the middle yet again. Sidestepping a couple challenges and a big save from Jasim Kolelat. Full stretch was Kolelat to push that away. And Monterrey keeping their foot on the gas here. A great strike there by Sergio Canales. Would have been another effort from outside the box. Something that this team has really gotten accustomed to, as Canales now stands over this corner kick. Canales, the outswinging ball, it was a free header that is skied out of play. It was Bertarame who had another chance to score a headed goal. Already scored one of those tonight. Again, a turnover in the middle. A job report couldn't get onto it. Borges comes away with it for Forge. Looking for options, and he finds one in Chouanier, who's in space. That space quickly closed down. The ball deflects out for a Forge throw-in. Kenyoto Janssen played a big part last week for Forge defensively. Him and Dan Nimick out strong for most of the game, but a couple of goals from outside the area. That's what did Forge in at home. Babuli goes for a second time on the cross, and the header is out of play. It'll be a corner kick on the way for Forge. Chance here on the in-swinger. Played to the back post. Comes out towards the top of the area. Jevramovic is trying to send it back into the mixer. He overhits it, and an easy take for Cardenas. As we're under 5 minutes to go in this first half. It's Arteaga and Corona. Hector Moreno getting a touch here for Monterrey. Rodriguez delivers out wide. Fimbres lays it off. Canales forced back out of the area. There's Arteaga and broken up. Dispossessed by Chouanier. Babuli, though, his first touch lets him down. And now he's chasing as it's back for Luis Cardenas. Another giveaway there by Monterrey. They've had plenty of ventures forward, but they've also given the ball away in some bad areas. And this is played over the top. Forward just haven't quite been threatening enough. One shot on target, one has hit the woodwork, a couple more have been well out of play. It pales in comparison to the 9 shots already for Monterrey in this game, including 6 on target. Jevramovic thought that was going to be a throw-in for Forge, and now the AR decided with the head official in Walter Lopez to give it to Forge, which is the way it appears it should have gone anyway. Forge looking for something to close out this first half. So runs all the way to the far side. Jevramovic now progressing. It was a heavy touch. He still gets the throw in. Play down the line. And here comes Monterrey as we enter a minute of additional time. Fimbres. And now Arteaga. Here's Corona. Cutting it in fields. He was cut off initially. And Forge able to get it away. A whistle to stop play. And Walter Lopez appears, yep, there is an injured player, and it is Jevramovic. Jevramovic, a new signing from Belgrade, his first season in Canada with Forge. Last played in Greece and played previously his whole career in Serbia. Shouldn't be too much longer left. And there will be no more time left in this first half. Walter Lopez has seen enough. And we go to the break. Monterrey had some comfort coming into play tonight. Now they have a little bit more. 1 goal in the first half from their main man up top in Herman Berterame. Forge are really up against it. They need 3 goals in the second half. We've reached halftime of this first round leg 2 matchup. It is Monterrey 1 and Forge 0. The first half stats tonight from Estadio BBVA: 8 shots. Getting set for the second 45 minutes of action here tonight from Estadio BBVA in Monterrey. It is Monterrey taking on Forge. I'm Josh Eastern, glad to be with you here tonight. It is round one, leg two action, and substitutions on the way for Monterrey. 3 of them to be exact to start this second 45 minutes. Jesus Tecatito Corona, Sergio Canales, and Iker Fimbres will be coming off the field. Oliver Torres, Jordi Cortizo, and Aldair Valenzuela will all be coming on. An exciting moment for the 17-year-old, number 38, Aldair Valenzuela, the Mexican Youth International. He will be coming on for his Monterrey first team debut tonight as we get this second half underway under the lights here in Mexico. A commanding advantage so far for this Monterrey side that has come out of the gates firing on all cylinders, it seems, tonight. Forge held about 53% of the ball in the home leg last week, but Monterrey having none of that tonight. They've held about 62% of possession tonight on their home field. That shouldn't come as too much of a surprise, but for most of that first half, it was one-way traffic. So Jordi Cortizo heads this out of play. There's Oliver Torres. What a move he started last week in leg one that eventually started the move for the first goal. Just a brilliant job by Oliver Torres with a little sombrero over the top, and then later on it was Jordi Cortizo who finished off the second goal of the game for Monterrey. He did it on his first touch on a free kick. Here's Torres. Play down the line. It will run all the way towards the end line, and Akinyote Janssen forced to put it out of play. Well, there is Stefan Medina, who has come on, it seems, as well, as this ball is out of play. And there is the youngster Aldair Valenzuela. Maybe something on. Berterame moves it ahead. The square ball for Jordi Cortizo! It took him 1 touch to score last week. It takes him 2 minutes to score today, and it's 2-0 to Monterrey. And now this tie surely in the hands of Monterrey. 4-0 on aggregate. And it is looking very, very comfortable this evening. Somehow this ball got all the way through the goalkeeper and the defender who was on the line. Jordi Cortizo picking out the corner. The assist will go to Oliver Torres, who just came onto the field. It looked like Kolelat got a little touch on that, and that is what denied Rizart Rama the opportunity to clear it off the line. Just unfortunate series of events there for Forge, but now it is 4-0 on aggregate and 2-0 on the night. And now you wonder what the game plan is from Bobby Smirniotis and Forge up against it. And they're going to need pretty much everything to go their way in these final 40 minutes. Cortizo Slides it forward. Centering pass broken up. Here's Brian Wright. And will there be a consolation in this for Forge tonight? Can they get a goal? A long throw. They have scored in both of their previous appearances. They got one goal. They lost 4-1 on aggregate against Cruz Azul in 2022. Ended up losing 5-2 on aggregate against Chivas last year. They scored in both legs a year ago. It's not quite going the same this time around. The cross coming in, looking for the run of Brian Wright, but off the mark. Cortizo again bursting forward. Some interesting fixtures coming up the rest of the week as well, all featuring Liga MX sides on their home fields. Later tonight, Cruz Azul against Real Hope. But Chivas taking on Cibao. That's 1-1 on aggregate. Tigres currently losing to Real Esteli on aggregate by a goal to nil. And then how about Cavalry, another Canadian Premier League side? They won their quote-unquote home leg. It wasn't at their home stadium, but it was in Canada. They won it 2-1 against Pumas. Making things just a little bit more interesting here in the home legs for Liga MX sides later this week. And Monterrey has left no doubt so far. They have put their foot down. Well, they haven't quite been in this sort of form in Liga MX play. They are showing how dangerous they can be in this competition. Here's a shot from distance. Jassim Kolilat able to make the save. Monterrey made 7 appearances in the Champions League era. They won 5 times. The only Champions Cups that they have not won that they made was in the 2016-2017 edition, and then last year when they lost out to the Columbus Crew on this field in the semifinals. Again, Monterrey on the move. It's Valenzuela, moves it out wide. Arteaga cuts it back, and Monterrey content just to keep the ball. Trying to get through this match with health intact. Cortizo. Now Leon. Forced to play it back. Cortizo. Driven ball out wide. Oh, it's a great first touch from Torres. Well, he has really shown his skill and his technical ability over these first 2 legs. Cortizo cutting it in fields, coming into the box, keeping hold of the ball, and the clearance away. He's trying to put that into a dangerous area. Oliver Torres, the 30-year-old Spaniard who has played with some big clubs in his past, Sevilla, Atletico de Madrid, and FC Porto as well in Portugal. Flipped over the top, Cortizo couldn't quite bring it down. He liked the service over the top. And a stoppage in play. Substitutions on the way. And this will see Noah Jensen come onto the field. It's the end of the day for Moham Babouli. First substitution of the night for forwards. Jensen comes on just like he did off the bench in leg one, the 25-year-old from Ontario. He's a former call-up for the Canadian futsal team, so you know his technical ability is going to be pretty good. Plenty of space here for Tony Leon. Leon looks in fields. The pass was broken up before it got to Cortizo. Rodriguez finds width. This ball's fired in. Blocked down. Valenzuela forces a throw-in. Now Rodriguez moves it across. Torres. Again over the top, headed away. Trying to just play this into space. Forge has tried to play on the counter when they've had the chance tonight, but it hasn't really come off too many times. It's mostly just been a direct ball over the top. Maybe that's why Bobby Smirniotis wanted some fresh legs up top with number 22, Noah Jensen. Slid in behind. Justin Colilat off his line. He didn't get there. And Monterrey scores again. A nod there from Sergio Ramos says Germán Berterame has bagged a brace tonight for Monterrey. It is all too comfortable for Rayados at home. That run looked to be timed just perfectly. Colilat had to come off his line. If you're going to do that, you have to get to the ball. He did not. And it was a pretty easy finish in the end for Berterame. And that assist will go to Oliver Torres, who now has 2 assists since coming on at the break. Just waiting for this goal to officially be confirmed, but it looked like he was onside. It stands. It is 3-0. It is 5-0 on aggregate. How many more? Monterrey going to score at this point. They look to be in great form at the moment. Now a venture forward for Forge. Becker making the forward run. The cross comes in. It's cleared away. Jorge Rodriguez, just like he did last week when he came off the bench, just slid into that center back spot. It's an in-swinger, and it's straight out of play. Tarame pulled back. And what will the decision be here from Walter Lopez? In conversation with Akinyote Janssen. Another sub on the way, and that is the end of the night for Germán Berterame. A brace tonight for Monterrey's number 7. And we'll see Roberto De La Rosa enter. De La Rosa on the loanee from Pachuca. He spent his entire career with Pachuca, including winning Champions Cup just back in June. Registered 9 involvements in shot-ending sequences in that first leg. He was a very instrumental player, was Roberto De La Rosa, in that first leg last week. De La Rosa also had the assist on the goal that was set up by Oliver Torres and eventually scored by Nelson Deosa, who's on the ball here. Cortizo slides it forward again, chance to shoot, and De La Rosa's first touch is a shot that he drags well wide. Martin Demichelis talked last week about the responsibility that he feels like he has to take this club where it deserves, as he said, in this competition. As Cortizo goes down, there's no whistle. That would have been a free kick in a very similar spot as to where he scored last week. That's a great switch of play in the meantime for Forge. Forges trying to take that shot, all the sting taken out of it, right at the feet of Luis Cardenas. Talked about Monterrey and what they've done in the past in this competition, winning it 3 straight times, then again in 2019 and in 2021, 5-time champions here in Concacaf Champions Cup. Of course, this Monterrey side will also get a chance to participate in the FIFA Club World Cup coming up in June. They are in a group with Inter, River Plate, and Urawa Red Diamonds, team from Asia. A big opportunity, especially in that game against River Plate, especially for Monterrey's manager, Martin Demichelis, which is where he managed before coming here to Monterrey. A chance to go against his former club, but anytime you can play a team in Europe, or from Europe rather, you're going to take that opportunity, and Inter will be an interesting matchup. That will be at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California. They'll play a couple of games there at the Rose Bowl. That'll be quite a sight for Monterrey to fill that historic stadium. Quick passing here, it's Torres and Cortizo trying to connect again with Torres. The clearance is over to the near touchline, and Leon who keeps it in play. Now Rodriguez. Cortizo trying to shake free. Couple of goals for Berterame. Jordi Cortizo also getting in on the scoring. The 2 second-half goals coming in a span of 10 minutes. This one slid ahead and too close to Cardenas. That was right through the legs. Jordi Cortizo sent that pass. Another switch of play. Deosa. A decision from the referee, no call. It stays here with Monterrey. Job report, able to distribute. Intercepted, and a crafty back heel from the teenager Valenzuela. It springs Monterrey forward. Low drive, saved by Colilat. And the follow-up couldn't be put in. The Forge fans that have made the trip, they're still enjoying themselves, smiles on their faces, but De La Rosa sliding in, could not get on the end of it. Arteaga went low, it stayed on the deck. It's a great save in the end there by Colilat. He did what he could, and he actually did well to push that as close to the touchline as possible. As Torres now delivers the corner kick, it floats into the air for Colilat to claim. Wright played in. We'll see what happens here with the flag, but Brian Wright is in. It's saved, and now the flag is up. The referee must let play go on. Wright was in that offside position. And that was a pretty easy one there for the AR. And as they're told, keep the flag down. Let the attacking sequence play out. And the crowd applauding every time Luis Cardenas gets a touch, because he hasn't had many tonight. Here's Cortizo. Cortizo brought down. He's not pleased with that. And David Chouanier. Chouanier will see yellow. Kind of got ripped down there by his neck, and that is why Cortizo took exception to it. That left arm getting a bit high there. And subs on the way. Amadou Kone will be coming on. Kadim Kane as well. And so will Max Fillion. Fillion made his pro debut in the first leg. Becker, the captain, will be coming off, so will Brian Wright. Some fresh legs onto the field here for Forge in the final 20 minutes. Subs 2, 3, and 4 for Forge. David Chouanier, the other one to come off. Amadou Kone, the 20-year-old from Ottawa, Ontario, his second season with Forge. Kadim Kane in his third season with the club, and Max Fillion, as we mentioned, made his pro debut just last week. Both Kane and Kone had spent time with Sigma FC, which is basically the second team, and it's the club that Bobby Smerniotto's coached at before Forge. He and his brother helped found Sigma FC, which plays in League One in Canada, which is basically a semi-pro league in Canada. Now the corner kick. More of a driven ball in for Torres. Plays it off his chest. No problem there for the Spaniard. Torres, his cross bounces once and right into the arms of the waiting Kolelat. And now some trouble here playing out from the back. Ends up out of play, a throw-in going Forge's direction. They get away with it. And the crowd applauding the ball at the feet of Cardenas yet again. Foul here. It'll go Monterrey's direction. There are those Forge fans that have made the trip from Canada for this game, at least presumably from Canada for this game. It's got to be a fun away day coming here to Monterrey. Second straight season that Forge has qualified here for Champions Cup. Used to have to qualify through Concacaf League, but with the change in format for Champions Cup, the introduction to Central American Cup and Caribbean Cup, they're able to qualify directly through the Canadian Premier League, which is exactly what they did this go-around. They also have a chance to qualify through the Canadian Championship, in which they've been quite successful in and have not been able to win that competition. They went toe-to-toe with Toronto FC last year. They ended up beating Toronto in the first leg, but they have had some good success in that competition, including knocking out CF Montreal, another club from Major League Soccer. Quick passing again from Monterrey. Almost too quick. It did go out of play, and it's going Forge's direction as we approach the final quarter of an hour from Estadio BBVA here in Monterrey. It's been a comfortable evening for Rayados. 3 goals. They came into the night knowing they already had that 2-0 advantage on aggregate. Again, Bobby Smirniotis looks like it'll be 2 games and done for his club in Champions Cup. And moved out wide as the cross comes in. Big save, Cardenas. The first big save that Luis Cardenas has been forced into tonight, and he was up to the task. A dangerous ball put in there. Fillion did not get a touch onto it. It still might have been eyes for that corner, and now it's a corner kick for Forge. Jensen delivers the in-swinger towards that near post. It's headed away and out. Jevramovic wants to use a long throw here, waving his teammates into the box. It's Jensen, he scuffs the shot, but he stays alive for Forge, at least momentarily. Headed back forward. Jevramovic in towards the middle, and now the shot is saved, it's spilled, and Cardenas comes away with it again. Another good chance for Forge FC. And Monterrey are trying to keep that clean sheet intact. Jevramovic did well here, and boy, if that ball runs through to the penalty spot for Ojabrapor, there's a great chance that he's able to put that one away, but it wasn't a bad effort there from Ojabrapor in the end. And it was Hector Moreno putting in that defensive challenge. Here's Kane. Jevramovic! That had some movement on it, and he put it over the bar. And this is what you want to see if you're Bobby Smirniotis. His team still coming forward, still looking for something out of this tie, even if it's only going to be a consolation goal. One more sub tonight for Forge. Razat Rama will exit, and is Ben Patton who will come on. Patton, who last played for Ross County in Scotland, made his Forge debut in the first leg. The 24-year-old now coming on as the final sub of the night. Again, played through the middle. Kone now, the cross came in towards that near post. Was it deflected? It appears it is going to be a corner kick for Forge. Substitutes have started to make a difference here for Forge. 3 orange shirts right around Luis Cardenas. About 4 orange shirts around him. Jensen delivers, back post, nodded back centrally and headed clear. Shot from distance, pushed away. Cardenas saw it late and through traffic and able to make the stop. Another ball played through the middle and all the way through for Colelat. Forward starting to get more of a foothold in this game now. Kone, no whistle, and now the whistle will come. Referee looked like, I guess he was trying to play advantage, and a yellow card is issued here. That will go to Stefan Medina. Here was that save again by Cardenas, just pushing it to the side. Maybe took a little bit of a deflection on the way through. Chance now over this set piece. Rakaniotti Janssen now is standing in an offside position. Jevremovic and Jensen standing over it. A 3-man wall. Jensen into the wall. Now down the line, Jevremovic. Was he caught? He was. Free kick. It's not quite the straightforward finish that maybe Monterrey and Martin Demichelis would have liked. Forge are putting in a very strong performance here to close this game. And a yellow card is coming out here. Here's that is for Jorge Rodriguez. Jevremovic still feeling the effects from this challenge. Jevremovic doesn't want the stretcher. He'll just hop off himself, but there are no more subs available tonight for Forge, so they're either going to have to finish this game with 10 or see if Jevremovic can come back on, which it does not appear will be the case. So Forge will be forced to finish this game down to 10 men, adding, I guess, injury to insult, I guess is how you have to flip that phrase. Forge do have a set piece, and an attacking one at that. A chance to try to test Luis Cardenas, which they have done quite a bit here over the last few minutes. A lot of space there at the top of the area if they can get a ball there quick enough. Again, it's Noah Jensen. Jensen, this is well overhit and out of play. As we enter the final 5 minutes, 5-0 on aggregate to Monterrey. Played over the top, all the way to the end line. This ball will not stay in play. A job report. Now look at this quick passing from Forge, looking for the ball in behind. All the way back to Luis Cardenas, and the crowd still appreciative of his effort tonight. There's Torres, and now Valenzuela, the youngster, has shown his skill set tonight, making his Monterrey first-team debut here in Champions Cup. Mexico Youth International is on to hear Valenzuela. I'm sure we'll see a little bit more of him as the years go on. Valenzuela not able to shake Kone. Akinyote Janssen back for Kolelat. Even with the scoreline, even with it being a Tuesday night, the crowd is still rocking here at Estadio BBVA. Remember, the winner of this series, which looks like it's going to be Monterrey now, will face either the Vancouver Whitecaps or Saprissa. That should be a very interesting round one tie coming up over the next couple of weeks. That will kick off next Thursday night. Six more ties will start next week, all featuring teams from Major League Soccer. Should be a fascinating set of games, as here comes Monterrey again. Deosa's onto it. Deosa, oh, he skies it. What an opportunity for Nelson Deosa to bag a goal in legs 1 and 2. It was just him and Kolelat. He had time. He went for power. As we enter the 90th minute, and the Liga MX round 1 teams will finish up this week. Another whistle and a free kick coming. The first game up next week, Sporting Kansas City will play host to Inter Miami, and Lionel Messi, one of 2 all MLS ties next week. Sporting KC and Inter Miami, and then the Colorado Rapids What a season for them last year. They'll take on LAFC. Here's Torres. And Leon. Valenzuela. Well, why not have a hit? As we're approaching 90 minutes. And the referee has seen enough. Monterrey are moving on to the Champions Cup round of 16. A thorough performance in legs 1 and 2 by Rayados. And it eliminates Forge FC after 2 matches for the second straight season. A brace from Herman Berterame. Jody Cortizo added another goal for himself off the bench. It's full time tonight. It is Monterrey 3, Forge 0. And on aggregate, Monterrey 5, Forge 0.
Comenzaste este juego con el 11 inicial por parte de... Verte, comenzaste este juego con el 11 inicial por parte de Michelis. ¿Cuál fue el mensaje que te da antes de entrar al vestidor?
No, creo que el mensaje es para todos, que acá, más allá que estábamos 2-0 arriba, era un partido de 0-0, un partido donde teníamos que seguir creciendo. Creo que también como veníamos en la liga, creo que veníamos de perder, entonces creo que era momento de seguir creciendo, de seguir siendo intenso y demostrar lo que nosotros sabemos.
Monterrey ha conseguido 5 triunfos en esta CONCACAF. ¿Para qué está este Rayados?
Y obviamente es paso a paso, partido tras partido, es obviamente llegar hasta la última instancia, entonces creo que hay que seguir trabajando y exigirnos más ahora y bueno, en la liga también.
Por último, Berte, ¿qué me puedes decir de la primera ejecución de tu primer gol en este encuentro servicio de Canales?
Y la verdad que fue un hermoso centro y bueno, después obviamente puse la cabeza y con la misma velocidad que le pegó Sergio creo que entró. Y nada, la verdad que eso personalmente me viene muy bien, me viene con mucha confianza, así que nada, contento por eso.
Muchas felicidades, Berte.
Gracias a usted.
Uphill battle, playing against them. We knew obviously with their crowd and their stadium, they have their home field advantage. It was going to be tough, but to be honest with you, I think that first half, I think we played well. We had chances, including myself. If I capitalize on that, maybe it's a different game. But with their quality, it's going to show.
You say like it was different game. What are your thoughts about this match?
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. For us to have our first games of the year against Monterrey, it's obviously a tough game, but to be honest with you, I'm proud of the guys. We put in a shift, and like I said, all credit to Monterrey. They played a great game, and they got a lot of quality on the team, and they showed it.
And finally, what are your next goal with this team?
Yeah, to keep pushing to play in this competition. You know, I said it before. We don't want to just be in the competition. We want to be getting results. Obviously, like I said, it was tough to you know, get a team like Monterrey in that first round, and you know, to have them as our first games of the year. But you know, for me, and I know how the guys feel, it's not really any complaining. It's obviously a blessing to be in the competition, and we're going to keep striving to be in it every year.
So that's all. Thank you.
The full-time stats tonight, more shots at the end of the game for Forge, but it was a dominant performance in the end by Monterrey. 8 shots on target. They scored 3 times. They score 5 goals over 2 legs, and they are moving on to the Champions Cup round of 16. Full-time highlights tonight, 2025 Concacaf Champions Cup, Round 1, Leg 2 from Estadio BBVA, Monterrey and Forge. And Forge with an early chance against this Monterrey side who came in leading 2-0 on aggregate. This would be the game's first goal. Herman Berterame, the man that has been tasked with scoring the goals here for Monterrey as Sergio Ramos looks on. It is a great finish there from Berterame, just his 2nd goal of this calendar year. He got 1 in Liga MX just a few weeks back, gets 1 here. Then come the second half, Jordi Cortizo took him just about 2.5 minutes to find a goal since coming off the bench. He scored on his first touch a week ago in leg 1, and just a few touches into this game, he gets the 2nd goal of the game for Monterrey. A little bit of a deflection on it from the goalkeeper. That is why Rama did not save it off the line. 2-0 at the time to Monterrey. And then it would be a 3rd goal, and Herman Berterame would bag a brace. Kolelat came for it, he didn't get it. Berterame did. And an easy finish there for Berterame. Oliver Torres also with a couple of assists since coming on at halftime as well. A very good performance overall for this Monterrey side, but as the game continued on, there would actually be a few chances in this game for Forge. They would not put one in the back of the net. Martin Demichelis, the former center back, I'm sure loves to see that clean sheet preserved. But Luis Cardenas forced into a fingertip save there as he tips that one away. Then there would be another couple of chances for Forge here at the end. Cardenas making a save there. No job report, couldn't finish it. And in the end, Monterrey is moving on. That will do it for our coverage tonight from Estadio BBVA. Forge is eliminated. Monterrey is moving on. They win it 3-0 on the night and 5-0 on aggregate. For our entire crew, I'm Josh Eastern saying good night.